health is wealth. So working out is very important to me. It's people my age who can't walk without assistance or who have health problems, and I don't want to be that person. You know, I want to be able to play with my granddaughter when she gets 10, 15, 5 even. So it's important to me to make sure that I take care of myself, especially we have high blood pressure, obesity, heart disease, all that kind of stuff I do not want any parts of. So I make sure I take care of myself.
Grandmas hold a special place in our culture. We cherish their endless love. We admire their skills in the kitchen. We rely on them as babysitters. We hold them up as examples of honesty and moral purity. But did my grandmother and the women like her make such sacrifices out of choice or due to a lack of choice? To meet the expectations set for them by society to be a strong, eat last type of matriarch? Were they the result of wonderful character traits or the oppressive demands of American society, or both? For our grandmothers, what are the motivations and forces behind their seemingly superhuman abilities?
What's up, y'all? This is Jordan Theory with Dream Chase Life. Welcome to episode 5 of Grandma's Roses, featuring JaNaye. I got connected with JaNaye through my homegirl Alexis Lawrence down in LA. So I went down to meet her and, you know, had a really wonderful conversation. Pulled up at her spot in South LA. Got to the door. Sister opened it up and was like, "Where's the grandma at?" Right? Like, because you are way too young to be a grandma. But yeah, JaNaye, she's a young grandma, became a mom at a young age, and she's already a grandma, and she's still, you know, working, pursuing her goals, doing her thing. Beautiful sister, met her husband Ferguson, real cool brother as well. But yeah, she got to tell me a lot about her life, and I'm just going to show you some snippets here in this episode today. Yeah, one of the first things I wanted to know was, you know, what that experience was like, becoming a mother at a young age, and, you know, still living with her mother for some of that time period, and how those relationship dynamics kind of panned out between her mother, herself, and of course her daughter. And so she's going to talk a little bit about that right now, so enjoy.
I lived with my parents until my daughter was probably 4 or 5. Then I moved out, and I didn't move far. I had started a relationship with my son's father at that point, so we were living together. But we always ended up back at my mom's house. We spent a lot of time at my mom's house, and I think because I was there for that long period of time, my daughter and my mom developed a relationship. So anytime she said, "Can we go to grandma's house?" I would go to my mom's house, because you don't want to take away a bond with the child and an adult that they trust and that they love, because it's good for them to feel that and to know that they have that. So my mother as a grandmother, first let me say, my sisters and my cousins, we were very close, and we used to give each other Smurf names. And my mom's Smurf name was Papa Smurf, because she took care of everybody. Not only my children, my cousin's children, my aunt's children. Anybody who had a child and you needed a babysitter, you already knew. You take them to my mom. She is very nurturing, and it's a different kind of love that she gives. Like, I've never seen any human being give the type of love that my mother gives. It's like she goes out of her way to make sure that you feel loved and wanted, and it's like that with her grandchildren. You know, I think with her raising her kids, she had to be tougher on us and exhibit a different kind of strength with us, or or relationship with us. But now that she has her grandkids, it's just like love, 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 love. You know, they don't get in trouble. Her grandkids don't get in trouble. We got in trouble a lot, but she's a very, very good grandmother. I think the grandmothers, my grandmother or my great-grandmother, they did that because children were having children and they needed some kind of guidance. I think the era was different then, where you have to, it's just what you know, because your mother put it in you and her mother put it in, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of just like this whole tradition of, let me hold this child close and kind of like hover. And I didn't want to hover because I don't want my daughter not to be able to raise her daughter the way that she feels is best for her. You know, the grandparents before want you to do what they tell you to do just because they think it's right. And their raising of the children might not be best for you. Might not be what you're best at. So everybody should kind of like raise your child the best way that you know how, teach them right from wrong, of course, and give them everything that they need, but also give them the opportunity to raise their child the way that they want. I know it's things that I didn't want to take from my mom raising my daughter, and I know it's things that she's not going to want to take from me raising her daughter. So I don't ever want to be the hovering parent that just doesn't give you the space or feel like you would upset me if you didn't take something that I wanted to give you that I thought was so important, or it was a tool in raising you. You know, I want my daughter to say, you know, thanks for the advice, Mom, but I feel like this is best. And I should be okay with that. And I think back then it just wasn't. It was just like, my mama raised me like this, so you gonna raise your baby like this. And if you're not, I'm gonna just like step in and do things like that. But as far as sacrificing, we do sacrifice a lot again because we're raising children. So when you think that you might want to go do something, you kind of like, do you really have it? And I think that's a line that you don't know what side to be on, because you want them to do that. You want to make sure that they're doing the right things because they are so young and they don't know, but you didn't know either. And you had to learn on your own. So let them learn on their own and having the help for them, as opposed to just like taking over their children, because some moms do that. They like, I'm the grandmama and I know what's best, so you're going to do it like this, and that's just how it's going to be. Can't be like that. At least not with me anyway.
So the other part of the conversation I want to share with you is around grieving and healing. JaNaye lost her partner, the father of her son, when she was still pregnant with him, and that was a very difficult time for her. And so she shared with me a little bit about sort of the impact of that loss, unexpected loss, and you know, what grieving looked like for her, and what healing has looked like for her. What did it take, or if anything, for you to, I don't know, I guess, I don't want to say get over it, but like get back to a good place?
12 years. And it took me so long because I didn't allow myself to take the appropriate time to grieve. You know, you hear, you'll be all right. Oh, don't cry. It'll be all right. So you don't cry. You just keep moving. And what people don't understand is that's not helpful. You know, people have to cry. People have to grieve. People have to go through things to get through things. And when you don't grieve, you live life in a way that's unhealthy because you don't know that you're going through something. So you don't know what you're feeling. You don't know what to do. All you know is that you have to push through and push through and push through. And it causes you to feel things that you wouldn't normally feel, and causes you to maybe make decisions that you wouldn't normally make because you're not right in the inside. You know, it's like stress, but you can't let it out because everybody's telling you, don't cry. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. So it took me 12 years. And I think it was that I knew something inside me wasn't right. And I just had to say, you know what? It's time for you to go do something, see somebody, do something. And that's what I did. I went to go see somebody. And I saw somebody for a long time. And I got back to just feeling the spirit that I had inside of me before. And I'm okay now. I'm in a better place now. I definitely recommend mental health professionals to everyone. And even if it's not an extreme life change, if you're just feeling sad or don't know what to do or not feeling supported, I mean, people go to school for that. They are there for you to talk to, and it's not always good for you to talk to your friends because that energy transference is for real. So while you're talking to your friends about, oh, this, they're taking it on and not really knowing that by the time they hang up the phone with you, they're like exhausted. And then you can lose friendships like that. So it's definitely important to seek mental health and really not be worried about what somebody else is going to think about you because you're seeking help. Mental health is everything. Difficult aspect of my life was being in a place of hurt and still forging through, not knowing what example I was setting for my children or what energy I was giving off to them, just not knowing how they felt because I didn't even know how I felt. So I think that was the most challenging and hurtful thing for me to go through, just not knowing where they stood and how I felt for them or how I was caring for them, things like that.
These last clips I want to share with you from my conversation with JaNaye is her talking about what she's still working on, what she's pursuing, what she wants to do with her career in the future, and also what she's excited about for her future and where she finds joy right now in her life.
I am going back to school for a number of things. At this point, I'm going back for my associates, and it has been a long time. You know, when you have children, it's not hard to go back to school, but it's not easy either because you have to focus. And then when you have young children, they have to be taken care of. So you have to make sure their schooling is taken care of and things like that. So now that my kids are officially grown, I've been able to go back to school. I started 2 years ago and I've gone nonstop. So in June, I will be done with the Associates in Administration of Justice, Liberal Studies, Interdisciplinary Studies, and I will have a fingerprint certificate. So I kind of was going back to school off and on, and I was never able to finish because children have needs, and their needs always come first. So now I'm able to just take this thing nonstop, full-fledged. The most joyful things, the joyous thing in my life would have to be still being able to teach my kids things and them still being able to, or wanting to even come to me and have an open line of communication with me. I think that's very important. You know, some kids get grown and think like, oh, I don't have to talk to my mom for advice. I'll figure it out on my own. You know, I'll do this and I'll do that. But they still come to me. Even my daughter, grown with her own child, she still comes to me. And my son, almost 18 years old, you know, almost a man, still calls me and says, Mom, hey, what do you think? So I think still giving back to them and them still wanting to learn from me is probably the best feeling for me.
Thank you for tuning in to Dream Chase Life. If you're digging the content, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, and we're going to keep bringing you great content about creativity, culture, and community. Till next time, peace.